It's good. It's Skano from the gutter. So here we have another case of a black man being found hung in a tree. This time in Albuquerque, New Mexico. You know, Javon Givens from Kansas City. You know, in New Mexico, I believe work related. And at this point, although I've long since, suspected it is what we think it is. I don't want to hear any more talk about conspiracies and suicide. It is what we think it is. And I do believe law enforcement is tied into this. You know, and I've said this before, research it, there are death squad, these kill squads. And a lot of these law enforcement agencies, like I said, they keep score. But listen, man, and black folks, unalive themselves, too. They're, black folks not immune from mental illness, especially in this country, But come on, man, black folks don't hang themselves like this, man. So let's cut the games. It is what we think it is. And like I said, law enforcement is directly tied into this, So while we have, former actor Malik Yoba, is it Yoba, Yoba? Y'all know who I'm talking about. He recently came out and said, he no longer identifies as black. He's not a black man. He said he identifies as non-white. And, hey, man, to each their own. I mean, me personally, who am I to tell somebody how they should identify? It's people that say, well, biracials aren't black, technically, or woo-woo, but I identify as black. So, but this is what I would say. If you black in this country, shit, in this world, but especially in this country, I don't care what you choose to identify yourself as. At the end of the day, if you got, so whatever, Malik Yoba, chooses to identify, he's black. You know what I'm saying? So you call yourself non-white, call yourself whatever you want to, man, but let the right or wrong cop pull you over in the wrong city at the wrong time. Let, what I'm saying, one of these white nationalists, because there's plenty of them in this country, as far as these supremacist sects, get caught slipping by the Klan, because the Klan's still around. It ain't like they, this ain't, tell that to them, And like I said, I'm not gonna be critical or do, with like a whatever. You know what I noticed? There's some black folks, when they get money, once they reach a certain level of success, they think they have, transcended race. They think they are above the racial construct at that point, At the end of the day, man, like I said, whatever you want to identify yourself as far as white America, not that part of white America, you're black. So tell that to them Klan members. Heaven forbid you ever be in that position, but I'm talking to the people who think all of a sudden now, race is not a thing, and they no longer want to be, put in a box, figuratively speaking, as far as, racial identity. Listen, man, you could call yourself yellow, you could call yourself an alien, whatever. If you're black in this country, it is what it is. So whatever you choose to identify, just keep that in mind, to whoever it may apply. You know what I'm saying? But, like I said, these black people ain't just hanging themselves, especially not out in no tree in the wood. It is what we think it is, man. In 2025, they still lynching us. Even now. So, like I've been saying, stay vigilant and trust No one. And I'm, the last person to, because I know firsthand, obviously, all white people aren't that way because, I wouldn't be here if that were the case. But at the same time, I mean, I even speak this to my white mother. She know what it is and she won't deny it, you know. This country was founded on racial bigotry, and it's woven into the fabric of this country. So yeah, call yourself whatever you want to, Mr. Malik Yoba. You know what I'm saying? You black. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how much money you got. I don't care what your status is. If you know what I'm. So many of us don't have the luxury of switching up our identity. We got to live it. You know what I'm saying? Personally, I wouldn't want to be nothing other than what, biracial or not, I'm black. And I'm proud to be black. I love being black. With all the strife and all the scrutiny and all the hate that comes, I wouldn't want to be nothing else. But it damn sure come with a cost. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, from state to state, especially in the South. But like I said before, it goes down in the Midwest too. Now all of a sudden, that's the new trend. Black folks, we unaliving ourselves by, stringing ourselves up in trees. So, it is what I thought it was. Stay on your P's and Q's, black folks, and keep that hammer. And don't be afraid to I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. You know what I'm saying? But, for some of y'all who have deluded yourselves into believing because you have attained a certain level of success, and more power to you, man. But make no mistakes. At the end of the day, like I said, no matter what your status, you could be a black judge in this country. But let you be, you know what I'm saying, in plain clothes as a civilian in the wrong place at the wrong time. Strange fruit indeed. So, it never stopped. You know what I'm saying? So we must remain vigilant. Educate your children, and it's not about pushing hate. It's about pushing awareness. You can never let your guard down. Never. How many cases? I done read different cases of kids that have grown up in these white communities and have, all white schools, woo-woo. They go over to these sleepovers where predominantly white people are. And somehow or another, I've multiple cases where these kids come up unalived, drowned in a pool party, some mysterious death that I'm telling you, man. And like I said, I got white family, and coincidentally, a majority of my white side of the family they don't claim me. You know what I'm saying? They don't claim my mother. She's an outcast in her own family. So y'all think we have made strides, It is what we thought it was. Stay vigilant and never forget, no matter how much success you obtain, and it's not to, you can't trust nobody, especially in this country. Put your faith in no one but Jesus Christ. Because it's still a war, it's still a genocide on black folks. So I don't want to hear no more about conspiracy theories. It's right there in our face. No ops left, Scano. You already know.